Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Lovely Biertrix on Wisp Sports. I'm the Lovely Biertrix, and at Wisp Sports we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage. This month we're talking to the amazing Kira Hesse about Junior Roller Derby and the Junior Roller Derby World Cup happening this summer in Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome, Kira.
Hi.
Hi. Right. Okay. So me and you have chatted before a long time last year, back in the dark ages. We did it on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
But for my podcast listeners, they've never met you. So we want to know all about Kira, who you are, who do you skate with, what positions do you skate in, and all of that. So let's start off. Who do you skate with, Kira?
So I skate with Newborns Junior Roller Derby in Eastbourne and Team GB. And I've also been doing a little bit of work on the bench coach as a bench coach with Brighton Rockers.
Nice. Any other roller derby leagues that you hang out with?
No, that's about it.
How long have you been skating for, Kira?
Like 6 years now, I think. 6 years.
My goodness me. And you are still in the junior roller derby. So when do you age up, as we say? So when are you due to go into adult roller derby leagues?
Well, in September I'm going to be 18. Wait, sorry, I just realised it's actually 7 years. But yeah.
Just add in a casual extra year onto your skating career while all of us are creaking about with old knees after 5 years. Go on. So 7 years as a junior skater, you're due to age up into adult roller derby in September, if you choose to do so. I'm guessing that's going to be your path.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And will it be one that you'll go to?
Yeah, looks like it. And I'm also going to be able to play juniors for a whole another year, because it just works that it's the academic year is the junior year, if that makes sense. So you get to play for the rest of the academic year that you're 18.
Right. Okay. Amazing.
And obviously, because I was born at the beginning of September, I've got about a whole year on everyone else, which is good fun.
I get that. And so that's going to be quite interesting as well, because you'll be doing some cross training, I'm guessing, if you choose to go up to the adult league in the September, or you may choose to hang out in juniors for another year, I guess. I don't know. Big decisions that I am certainly not going to try to sway you either way. Asking you what leagues you're going to, that's all kind of confidential transfer information in the football world, isn't it? And here I am, just knocking it out there in roller derby, creating controversy. So you've skated for 7 whole years. You are part of Team GB. So Team GB off to the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. This isn't the first Junior Roller Derby World Cup, though, is it?
No, there's been 3, and Team GB have been, well, this will be the 3rd one, and Team GB's only been at 1 before.
Okay, were you at that one before?
Yeah.
Okay, where was that held?
Philadelphia.
Right, okay, I've heard of that place. Famous song about that place as well. So Junior Roller Derby held last time 2 years ago in Philadelphia?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, and how did Team GB get on there?
Well, we lost, but we had a really, really great learning experience, and yeah, we just want to come back this year stronger than ever.
That's exciting. That's exciting. How many teams take part? So I know 2018 Women's Roller Derby World Cup, there was 38 teams, roughly, that took part. How many take part in the Junior Roller Derby?
So it's considerably less. At the first World Cup, there was just USA, Canada and Australia. By the second World Cup, there was GB and a team of all of Europe added to that. But this year they're actually making 2 divisions, so an open to all and a female division, and there's going to be USA, Canada, Australia, France, GB, and one which is Europe, but it's mostly Belgian skaters, but they didn't quite have enough to make a team, I think.
Yeah.
And might be a team Nordic, but I'm not sure if that's going ahead or not.
So 6 or 7 teams as opposed to the 4 last time.
There were 5 last time, and
5
now there's
last
going to
time.
be 7, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing in 2 years that they've even been able to add 2 teams, because it's not like there's established junior roller derby leagues all over, sort of even the UK, even Europe, and then looking further abroad. It's not like these country teams can just pluck up skaters from established junior leagues, is it? There's very few junior leagues that actually exist right now. So it's amazing to see that there's obviously been a growth in those junior roller derby leagues in places like the Nordics, France, and then also, as you said, Belgium.
Yeah.
So that's really promising for the younger end of our sport, isn't it? That we're actually starting to see some real growth and expands. In terms of Team GB, then, how far and wide did the other skaters on your roster, how far and wide did they represent the UK? Are you kind of all based within your junior league, or are they from all the way across the UK?
So last time we were actually all English, so we probably could have just gone as Team England. But this year we've actually got some skaters from Scotland. I know that some people tried out who were from Wales. There's just a bit of a bigger variety of teams than last time.
Yeah.
And now that we're sending 2 teams, or sending an OTA and a female, there's actually a lot more skaters taking part, so double what we had last time. And well, that's just meant that instead of just having a lot of skaters from some of the more established leagues, then skaters from the newer leagues, which have, you know, sort of started since the last World Cup happened, are actually also able to go to the World Cup and make Team GB, which is really great.
That is so exciting as well, isn't it? Like, imagine playing for your country in the sport that you love, and kind of having that opportunity because you've been able to get a junior league, you know, within your area or whatever. But I feel like, does that present some challenges as well for you as a team to be able to train together when you are kind of spread out across the country? How are you going to manage that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that us in Eastbourne have experienced this already, because we actually had none of our trainings in Eastbourne. They're always either in like Hereford or Manchester, or I actually had to go to tryouts in Newcastle because I couldn't make the ones in Hereford.
Oh my word.
So we've been doing a bit of travelling, but obviously for the Scots, they're going to have to come all the way down to Birmingham or Hereford or wherever we happen to have the practices.
Yeah. So that is going to be a challenge.
Far.
Yeah, definitely. You're talking a good 4 or 5 hours, aren't you, to be able to travel that far for a day's worth of training? I'm guessing that you're going to think about doing longer training sessions to kind of make the best use of that time that you all have together. But a difficulty for national teams, of course, is finding that training space, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're not affiliated to
that,
just one league.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that we had one in Birmingham last time, and I think it worked out quite well because it's very central to like most people. So maybe we'll go back there. I'm not sure.
You're going to leave that to somebody else to figure out for you.
Yeah.
Just concentrate on skating. That's the best way to do it, I find. Don't get in a position of leadership. You only have headaches about venues and things.
Yeah.
So in terms of who is training you, how are you getting this training to get you ready, get this new team ready for the World Cup? What help have you got from coaches across the country?
So we've got Toots from Team England Men's, and we've got Rob, who is the head coach for Team Wales Men's. But we've also had coaches like Violet Attack from Birmingham, and when we had our tryouts, we had some coaching from Milky from Scotland and some of the other skaters that are from the north. I don't know. I'm a southerner. It's a far away place. I don't know.
It's a far away and magical land. That's fantastic that you've been able to find sort of skating and coaching talent from those adult leagues to come and give that support and guidance to the junior league to be able to help you be the best you can. But it's not Toot's first time, is it, coaching for Team GB? I believe, didn't Toots do it in the 2018 for you as well?
Yeah, he did. We're just like
Brilliant.
really lucky that we've got all these different coaches from all over the UK coming to help us out, really.
Yeah, it's super exciting, definitely. So this year, Canada, Saskatchewan, Canada, are you aiming for a medal?
Well, actually, in the female division, which is the team I'm playing in,
Yeah.
there's actually only 3 teams playing this time because a lot of teams opted to just send one team into OTA because they didn't think it was viable to send 2 teams. So I'm pretty sure we're guaranteed a medal by going there.
It does guarantee you a medal, but it's which colour that you're going to get. Yeah. So I'm guessing, who's the other 2 teams that are playing in the female division?
USA and Canada.
Right,
and
okay.
They have an insane amount of talent in those 2 countries.
Yeah. But obviously being more established, so I think we talked about this last time you and I chatted, Team USA already have that established pool of junior leagues to be able to pick from because the sport has been much more established in the US. So there are more of those junior leagues where there's that pool of skaters to be able to, highlight tryouts to and then take them and be able to train with them. So we're getting there and we're catching up. Maybe at the next one we will have, even more junior roller derby leagues to be able to widen that training pool for the league, and then hopefully we'll see more of that in Europe as well. That would be really exciting.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
see. So yeah. What's interesting is, so tell me what the other teams are that are going. So you've got the female division and then
the open to all division.
Okay, so OTA is open to all, in case you didn't know, and so that's mixed teams then.
Yeah.
Right. Okie dokie. And so from the Team GB contingent that are going over there, how many skaters are playing in open to all, and how many are just playing the female, or are you just solely concentrating on the female?
So actually, the JRDA didn't allow us to have crossovers, which
right. Okay. So the Junior Roller Derby
I know we found that a bit frustrating because we obviously have a much smaller pool compared to like the other countries which are sending 2 teams. But we're going with it. It's going to be a bit harder.
You're playing the hand that you've got, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure that's
so we've got 18 in the female and 19 in OTA.
Right. Okay. So it's still quite a big team to be taking out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
How are you going to afford that? Is it the bank parents?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, because the type of roller derby we play isn't covered by the British Roller Sports Foundation in their funding.
Okay.
So they fund a different rule set of roller derby. So we actually really struggle with getting recognised for funding and that sort of thing. So we just rely on basically GoFundMe fundraisers.
Okay, and we're going to make sure that those details are in the podcast episode notes so that we can share that message far and wide for you. But that must feel like a real frustration and kind of an added hurdle to get over. So on the one hand, you're having to take, you're restricted by the Junior Roller Derby Association's decision on not having those crossover rosters for the OTA and the female games, and then on top of that as well, you're going to have to try and find that funding because you can't find any available to you right now. So you really, as a team, and then let's just talk about that again, that kind of distance planning, distance training that you're going to be doing as a team, and spending your own money getting to your team training sessions in the middle of the country or one end of the country. You know, there are a lot of hurdles, aren't they, for you to be able to go and play your sport for your country out in Canada. That must feel a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, I guess, but I think we all just love it so much that it's worth it.
Definitely. That kind of adversity does tend to make your mindset a much stronger one as well. When you do have to overcome adversity to be able to go and do something, I think that you take more opportunities with it. Maybe you train a little bit harder. So obviously just aiming for a gold medal is where you're going to be at, isn't it? Against America and Canada. But then having that extra grit and determination to get there in the first place is certainly going to spur you on, I think.
Yeah.
What do you hope to achieve? So this will be your final year of being able to play in a World Cup for Team GB Juniors. How does that feel? Do you feel like you want to take that on to the next level, look at doing Team GB for the over 18s leagues, getting on there?
I think firstly, I really just want to make sure that when I go up into adult derby, it's actually, people underestimate the jump between junior derby and adult derby, because obviously, we have about, I don't know, maybe 10 leagues in the whole of the UK. When you compare that to the size of adult derby, obviously maintaining that level is really difficult. So you have to be a really amazing athlete, and I'm actually kind of considering just taking it gently, because I want to be focusing on my studying as well, at least for the first couple of years. So I'm not trying to set myself too many unrealistic goals, and more just kind of go with the flow, see what happens.
Kira, I wish I was as smart as you. They all sound like really important things to do. Set realistic goals and then you will achieve them. I think that's a really interesting point, and one that maybe in Europe we are perhaps only just learning and realizing and then responding to. Is you're absolutely right. There is a jump, isn't there, between coming from being a big fish in a small pond when you're at the top of your age in junior roller derby to then going into that over 18 roller derby league scenario. And how does that feel? And how do leagues and how do league members make sure that those skaters who are coming into that environment, how do they feel supported? And not to say that they're given special treatment, but more that we're just making sure that that transition is an enjoyable one, a positive one, and a supported one, because we do that in all sorts of other areas within young people's lives. But actually, are we making sure in our sport that we're able to offer that? Have you had any thoughts about what leagues can do to kind of help ease that transition? Is that something that you've kind of had any experience of already? You said that you bench coach for Brighton, and presumably that's the over 18s team there, is it?
Yeah,
so
well,
you
I really
kind
think...
of get it.
Sorry.
Go on. No, your views are way more important than mine.
I really think that like the Scandinavians have got it right. Obviously, they have less of a problem with insurance than we have in the UK. But I know that the major teams, so Stockholm and Crime City, as soon as their juniors get to kind of that sort of age and more importantly size where they can handle playing with the adults, they put their juniors straight into their C teams, and then they work their way up until they're in the 18s. So I know a pair of twins who they skate with Crime City, and they're really like, they've just turned 18 and they're doing amazing. And I think that they've done that transition from being at the top of the junior game to really, really, really succeeding in adult derby as well.
Yeah, that crossover is much more blended. So rather than being quite a hard line, they've been able to blend those skaters into that over 18s team in a much more sort of seamless and slow way almost to get to get them used to that level of contact, that level of training, etc.
Yeah,
I think you're right. There are definitely some challenges, aren't there, in the UK around our safeguarding laws that kind of they are a blocker almost to being able to do that. But at the same time, there should be ways for us to think about how we can, facilitate that at least, right?
Yeah. But then, again, lots of teams in the UK are starting to let their over 16s play with them, which is, to kind of ease that transition from juniors to adults. And that's just something that's really, really great. And, you can tell which junior teams have been playing with adults and which ones just train juniors, because I feel like there becomes a point where when you start playing with adults a bit more, it really gives you a kind of edge on your game.
Yeah.
Compared to it's much harder, I think, to get a really good understanding of Derby if you're just playing with people who are smaller than you.
Yeah. I just wondered about that. Do you think that edge comes from being able to implement strategy better or understand strategy better, or do you think it's a physical thing? Where do you think that comes from?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's quite good to get taken down a peg or two. if you're just spending the whole time, for example, if you're a 15-year-old playing, obviously there's lots of 11 and 12-year-olds who are great, but if you're 15 or 16 and you're really kind of at the top that you can get before you know what it's like to get hit by someone your own size.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a difference.
It's quite good.
Yeah. And I guess that kind of that physicality of being hit by somebody who is a similar size to you, or maybe even bigger, that's something that I can still vividly remember being. It is kind of a shock to the system, isn't it? It's a new level of something to get used to in roller derby, especially if you've been playing with those younger or smaller bodied people beforehand. It is a shock to get a full on hit from a skater who is the same height as you or bigger on their skates than you are.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, Tui Leon once hit me and I wanted to do a little cry on the floor. And that was back in the day before Tui Leon was even more of an amazing skater than, So yeah, I can understand that fully, that's a whole other learning curve right there. So thinking about you right now, what do you enjoy most about roller derby? So what keeps you going every week and takes you away from your studies to go away and play?
I think the best bit is scrimmage, to be honest. Just going and having a really fun time, and just actually playing. And whenever I'm having a bit of a doubt, oh my god, why am I doing this? It's too much. But then I just go to a scrimmage and have a great time and I forget about all of that.
Yeah, it gives you the juice to keep on going.
Yeah.
Because you rehabbed from injury, didn't you, last year? So you had to take some time out while you were injured and come back to it. And I know that for a lot of skaters, just in general, that can be a real difficult time where you're not getting that juice from scrimmaging, and you kind of feel like, is this ever going to end? I've got to be really patient, but patience is really hard when you just want to put your skates on and feel that physicality in roller derby. How do you think you coped with that and getting back into the sport after a period of time off your skates?
Well, it is scary. I mean, I don't know if my knee is ever going to be the same ever again, and that has made me think I'm 17, what am I doing? my knee's never going to be the same again. I'm never going to be able to, I don't know, whatever. But I guess when I was coming back, it was just really, really taking it slow and, saying stuff like, I don't know, I can't tell you whether or not I'm going to be able to play that game, even though I should have been healed for 3 months, until I know for sure, until I've been back to training, just saying stuff like, don't roster me for that, or, I can't guarantee I'll go to this training, for example. Just taking it slow until you really are confident that you can fall on it and whatever, play derby, and you're not going to hurt yourself again.
Kira, you're so right, because so often we see skaters who force themselves back from injury before they may be ready, and you can see as an announcer in the sport, you can sometimes see skaters who should not be on that track because they are clearly in pain, but they don't want to let anybody down. They don't want to let themselves down. They kind of feel like they've got that thing of, well, I should have healed by now, so I'm just going to go on and push on through it. And actually taking that time out and that patience to rest and setting those boundaries, like you said, being able to say, actually, I don't know whether I am going to be able to play the game. I don't know if I am going to be available. That's a really strong thing to do and push back on to your league mates sometimes, to actually say, this is my knee and I've got to live with it forever. So I don't know whether I'm going to be all right. So I think there'll be a lot of people who'll be listening to this today when it goes out, who'll be sitting along and nodding and saying, I should have done a little bit more of that, or maybe I am going to do a little bit more of that this year, of actually just saying, hang on 1 second, like, let me be the guide and let me tell you rather than being told. So well done you for that. I am obviously super pleased that you're back on skates and super excited for this World Cup in Canada. It's over the summer, so we're hoping it's going to be sunny and warm for you, and you're not going to experience Canadian winter like I did in November, where there was so much snow and so much coldness everywhere. What kind of fundraising activities are Team GB doing as a whole? So how can people support Team GB?
So I know that if you follow their Facebook page, they do share the GoFundMe link regularly, but also we're going to be playing a game at the Turing Cup next weekend, an exhibition game, and I think we're hoping to do a bit of fundraising there, and we're doing the Pounds for Penalties campaign again, which is where you can sign up to give £1 every time you get a penalty from now until the World Cup.
Which is amazing, unless you are a penalty heavy skater, and then you'll find that quickly you are donating and supporting our amazing junior Team GB. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to be at the Turing Cup next week, so I will definitely be able to catch up with you a little bit more there. And also, I'm super excited to be able to see Team GB. Is it Team GB versus Team GB, or are we going to see
just our skaters, just the Team GB skaters for now, I think.
Fantastic.
But I'm not sure how they're going to split the teams, whether it's going to be the OTA versus the female or a bit of a mix-up. We haven't been told about that, so I guess we'll find out closer to the time.
It's always good to keep some things on a cliffhanger, so you just have to tune in. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a stream for the weekend, so hopefully there'll be a stream for that game, and everybody at home will be able to catch up and see that. Finally, before you go, and it's just one more thing that struck me, is Kira, you're obviously training for Team GB. You have your own league training as well, I'm guessing, and then, as you say, you are getting educated like everybody should do. And how do you balance all of that? How do you make that happen?
Well, I did actually have a bit of a crisis the other day because I realised I was just doing way too much. So I've just had to kind of, really prioritise things and, like go through everything I do, make a list, get rid of some stuff. So yeah, you do have to like sacrifice quite a lot if you want to do it all. Because I kind of have this sort of philosophy where I don't want to do anything half-assed. I either just want to do it as well as I can or not at all. So I've had to stop doing a couple of courses at college, for example, because I just think there's no point in not doing it my best.
I agree with that. It's a beautiful philosophy to live by. Don't do anything half-assed when you can do it full-assed, as the saying goes. And hopefully that's what we're going to see this weekend. Lots of blocking, lots of amazing. I just realised that sounded really weird. So hopefully that's what we're going to see a lot of this weekend. You doing your absolute best out there on track for Team GB and representing for Team GB at the Turing Cup. And then obviously in Canada, what's the dates for the World Cup in Canada this year?
I think it's the 17th of August.
That sounds about right. So quite some time to prepare, but still all those challenges facing Team GB skaters from up and down the country. They're going to really need your support to get out to Canada, and they're going to be asking for that through pounds for penalties, support the Touring Cup tournament coming up, and then obviously as well their GoFundMe page, which we will have details of in our episode notes, and I will also share on my Facebook page, Kira, to try and give you as much of a signal boost as possible, because I just want all of you to be able to go out there and not be worrying about the money that it's cost, and go out and just experience all the fun of roller derby, and especially a World Cup. You're playing for Team GB. There's nothing more amazing than that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you.
No, it's absolutely our pleasure. I'm so glad to have you on, and we've already said that we're going to try and catch up with Kira throughout the season leading up to the World Cup, and just check in and see how your training's going and see how that fundraising's going, and look at other ways that we can support you, as well as hopefully hearing from some more Team GB skaters stories through the podcast, so we can just enrich everybody's lives. I think as grown-ups, sometimes we forget that this is a real, we all know the cost of roller derby, but when you're under 18 and you really are looking to be reliant on other people to help you because you don't have access to that funding, we need to do more to be able to support our juniors and ensure that the future of our sport continues, because these people really are the future. So Kira, thanks so much for giving us some of your very precious time without underestimating at all. I do realise that you have given up, even just 30 minutes of your time is worth its weight in gold. So thank you so much for coming on the Lovely Biertrix.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicole Drought. I'm an Irish racing driver and a proud WISP ambassador. I support WISP because they help to increase visibility in women's sport. This is quite important because it will help to encourage girls into sport if they have role models to look up to. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Nicole Drought Racing. Thanks for listening and supporting WISP.
So that's the end of episode 1, season 2. And I'll be back next month with another amazing episode. Be sure to subscribe to The Sport on your podcast player. The show notes for this episode can be found on the Lovely Biertrix show page at thesports.com. And while you're on the website, you'll find a lot more coverage of women's sports, from podcasted videos, interviews and blogs covering all sports around the world. Follow us and share your comments on social media at With Sports and at Biertrix. We're the first and only global podcast network for women's sports. And we'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for guests, or would like to tell us what you think of this show, drop us a line at info@thesports.com. Until the next time, thank you for listening. We're turning up the volume on women's sports.